I say, YouTube. Good morning, good morning, good morning. We got a live topic here today. Let's get into people that try to play you. Let's get into, in particular, companies. They gonna play you. They gonna try to play you. Let's get into it. If it's your first time rocking with the bull, be the KINGSPR33. That be me, King Spree, and you locked in with the realest. Man. Reporting live from Las Vegas, Nevada. The weather about, I think it's like 83 degrees outside. Not a cloud in the sky. Praising the most. Well, no, I'm lying. There are a bunch of clouds in the sky. It's actually a freaking cloudy day. But either way, praise to the Most High. Baby, you done been so patient with me. You've been holding on. You've been waiting. And that mixtape coming soon. And girl, I promise you gonna love it. Kings, queens, before we get started, please like the video. Each and every like really does matter. But then again, I can't force you to, so do what you do. Comment, subscribe, join the kingdom, join the royal family. So we're talking about companies that'll play you. Trust me, they gonna play you. So when you as an adult, right? When you're a child, when you're a kid, teenager, you go from job to job. You work at McDonald's. One day you just stop showing up at McDonald's because you got a better job at Wendy's, right? And then you go to Wendy's, and one day you just stop showing up to Wendy's because you got a better job at Arby's. So on and so on down the line until you finish school or get into your career path. And then from there, you kind of handle it how you got to handle it with a little bit more class. Now, I have been doing restaurant-style jobs my whole life, essentially. I had a way back in the day, a personal training situation, and way back in the day, I had a call center, and way back in the day, I had a phone situation, but worked for a phone company. But overall, I've been in a situation where I worked restaurant-style jobs that, if I'm being honest, they're not the most professional. What does it matter if I just stop showing up? That's how I'm going to quit. Now that I'm in the healthcare field, and I've been doing it for the past 4 years, I'm in a situation where you want to be a little more professional, or a lot more. You want to be a little more direct to the point, but also handle yourself with some class. As a result, I found a better opportunity, and it was time for me to give my 2-week notice. Right? This is not a paid ad. Cut the check, Celsius. So, I go and I do my little research, ask my little questions to my coworkers, how you go about doing this. It's my first time doing it, you heard me? So I type up my little, I found a template online. I type up my little 2-week notice, real short, sweet, to the point. Well, actually, somebody sent me a template, and I have it, get it typed up, real short, sweet, to the point. And I email it to my district manager. And then I go to my current, my on-site manager, director of rehab. I have a little meeting with her. Hey, when you have a little bit of time, if you don't mind, can we have a conversation? I get into the room, close the door. I'm like, hey, this has nothing to do with you, but, and I started a 2-week notice and explain that I'm leaving. So, of course, she hits me with a bunch of questions. Oh, where you going? What's wrong? A bunch of stuff, right? And I'm like, and I'm just basically like, well, it's not really a you thing, but I found a better opportunity, and I think I'm going to move on. Well, not I think, I'm going to move on. Is there any way we can change your mind? Is there any way we can match an offer and see what we can do financially? I said, in my mouth thinking, hell yeah, there's something you can do. Hell yeah, you tell me a certain number, I'm all with it. But I also know they're not going to do this number. So I'm like, no, I kind of made my decision, and I think it's just time for me to get a fresh start and move on. But I'm more than willing to stay here on a per diem basis, and I'll work with y'all as needed. I really do enjoy the opportunity. And then she's, cordial and nice. She's telling me everything she needs to tell me. Hey, keep my number. Anything goes wrong, feel free to reach out. Reach out to me. Now, I was sitting there and I'm like, all right, hey, I like hearing. We end the conversation. I go about my day. But in my mind, I'm thinking like, I know that's like her standard thing to say, but I don't know if she really means that. We'll see. So now I'm still waiting to get an email back from the district manager. That's not in town, for the record. He's somewhere else. So I get a message in the morning while I'm getting ready, and the message is like real dry, right? Like, hey, sorry to hear that you're leaving. Will you not be able to give us the full 2 weeks that we require? So, because I gave him a 2 week notice, but it was like 2 days short. So I'm like, then this dude sends me a clip of the handbook. He's like, and also I see that you have PTO that you are taking this week. Well, according to Article 55678.32.29, you are not required, and it's highlighted, you cannot receive any PTO, whether it's been approved or not approved, during your 2 week notice. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, where did this come from? It's just a clip. Where did this come from? I've never seen this before. I signed for this. So I'm like, all right, let's handle this the best way I can without being upset. So I emailed back and I'm like, well, okay, I can give 2 weeks notice. So that make my last day 2 days prior to the day I told you. I mean, 2 days after the day I told you. Okay, no problem. And, but are we saying that we are, because one of the clips he sent me had something to do with PTO. And I got over 100 hours. I need my money. You hear me? And I'm like, are you saying that I will not be paid my PTO, being that I have not been an employee for more than a year? May I remind you that you are a company that essentially bought out the previous company that was there. We had nothing to do with that. The fact that you came on board in November was a you thing. Any obligations or anything that would have been a problem for employees that have been there a long time, that are now looking to go somewhere else, that's something that you have to make an exception for, because you are the one that inherited employees. I didn't come to you, you came to us. Okay, so I get an answer back. Answer is like, so are we saying that you will be working in those 2 days? I said, yeah, sure, I work in 2 days. Okay, well then everything's okay, because you're in compliance with the PTO, so you'll receive your PTO. Now, we ended it like that. I saved the messages. I sent my 2 week notice with an updated date, and we're all good. Here's my problem. I know several employers that have left with less than a 2 week notice, and they got their full PTO, and I'm sure they didn't get the back and forth that they got with me. So now I'm sitting here and I'm like, I'm in Las Vegas. It's predominantly white and Asian. I'm the lone black male in my department. I work every shift. I work overtime every week, if not every day. If out of 100 days, I'm there 98, maybe 99. At a time, 100. I give my all. I do the best. All my patients love me. All my documentation is legit. Everything is to the goddamn T. The second it's time for me to go to a better opportunity, I don't get how can we match that price? We really want to keep you as an employee. We really enjoy your service, really enjoy who you are as a person. I don't get none of that bullshit. I get, okay, well, if you're going to leave, just make sure that if you don't give us the full 2 weeks, you don't get this PTO. The PTO that you work so fucking hard to get. And I'm like, I'm sitting there like, it's crazy. I got to go and speak to a man that's half my size, both in stature and weight. And he got to tell me what I'm worth. And he got to tell me that I can or cannot do something. Now, I know other people that have quit, and I've heard how the banter go. It didn't go like that. It went a lot easier than that. A whole bunch of, oh, please, don't, are you sure? I like it. But with me, it was a real cut. All right, we'll catch you. Here's my point. There are a lot of people right now working jobs where they show up every day and they blood, sweat, and tears into that beef patty. You hear me? Blood, sweat, and tears into stocking them goddamn shelves. You hear me? Blood, sweat, and tears into collecting that debt for them creditors. You hear me? And what you're not understanding is that these motherfuckers don't give a fuck about you, bro. They really don't. And this ain't something I'm saying based on What happened today? I've already known this. It took me maybe 4 months of being in the industry to know, being in the healthcare field to know. They don't care, man. You're really just a license that they can bill services for, and they give you a small percentage of what they bill for. And if you don't do it, somebody else will. That's why the healthcare field is always available for opportunities, because people quit all the time. They'll quit all the time. It's not even feasible. During COVID, I know nurses got all the praise, but the reality is nurses, therapists, CNAs, physicians, everybody in the healthcare field that works, whether in the hospital, step down, rehab hospital, so on and so on, nursing home, skilled nursing, we all went through it. I was working with COVID patients every fucking day. I caught COVID. I was in rooms with COVID patients. This is prior to like mask mandates, where I'm just talking to them. We don't even know they got COVID. We know they're coughing and shit, but we don't know what it is. And in retrospect, it's like, why would I ever go into a patient's room without a fucking mask? But yeah, at the time, there were no masks available. There was no hazard suits. There was no protocol. Like, people was really putting their lives on the line. Me, one of them, dealing with these patients. And when I got COVID, I literally almost died. Not figuratively, I literally almost died. Like, it was bad, bro. It was bad. It was bad. You think the facility reached out to me and said, hey, how you doing? My manager did, a couple coworkers did, but you know how long it took for that to happen? I was on my deathbed for 6-7 days before I got a call. And my point I'm making is that they don't care, man. So you got to worry about you. A lot of people that work in jobs like restaurant, or any job, but especially like restaurant style jobs, they're scared to call in, because the manager or the shift supervisor is going to kind of find a way to either guilt them or intimidate them to not. They're scared to call. They're scared to use the PTO. They don't even know they have PTO. They're scared to call in, because a lot of times those jobs are meant for children, meant for kids. And the kids don't think like that, right? So they're scared to do that. Man, listen here. You use your PTO. You need a mental health day, you take a mental health day. You need a I don't give a fuck, I'm just sitting here not doing nothing today, and you do that. You do whatever you need to do in order to put yourself in the best situation possible. Period. You don't owe nothing to these companies, man. You don't owe them nothing, especially with no contract signed. If you got a better opportunity, you take a better opportunity. You're not married to these people. They don't give a fuck about you, dog. You were just somebody there. They might offer y'all some pizza every 2-3 months. That's about it. You don't owe these motherfuckers nothing. Not a motherfucking thing. It's a business. You a business partner in this case. You go ahead. You work your hours. They give you some pay. That's it, bro. Don't overdo it. Don't overwork yourself. Listen. Take care of yourself. You know, we talk about, the running theme is always health, wealth, fitness, mental health, mental clarity. At the end of the day, man, when it comes to your job, you shouldn't be doing a job that you don't enjoy doing. But we're all adults here, so we can't just say, oh, it has to be something you enjoy. We're not all going to play basketball. We're not all going to rap. We're not going to all sing or entertain. And even that can be not enjoyable if you do it too long. We're not all going to be in a situation where we can fucking have opportunities to do what the fuck we want and enjoy it. So let me not say if you don't enjoy it, because that's not true. As an adult, you got to do some shit you don't enjoy. You understand me? I'm looking you dead in your eye. Look at me. As an adult, you're going to do some shit you don't enjoy. Like, that's just a fact. But there are some things you can tolerate. There are some things that have moments. There are some things that are sustainable. And there are careers and jobs that you like. You like. I like my job. I like it. But now I like it. Is it something I see myself doing for the next 30 years? No, I don't. But the lessons learned here will be applied to other things, and then hopefully I can pivot to something different. It's all about the pivot. Get your footwork right. It's all about the pivot. So you got to do what's best for you. Sometimes that might mean an impromptu vacation, impromptu extended weekend, a sick day where you're not really sick, so on and so on. Whatever can help secure your mental health and your overall for health. They're going to try to get you, though. They're going to try to get you. So just be prepared. And handle yourself with class at all times. But they're going to try to fucking get you. But either way, this has been a message brought to you by the good people over here at Spree ENT. Motherfuckers tried to get me. They tried to get me, but it was resolved. Baby, it's gonna all make sense real soon.